Fight Facts is a breakdown of all of the interesting information and Octagon oddities on every card, with some puns, references and portmanteaus to keep things fun. These deep stat dives delve into the numbers, providing historical context and telling the stories behind those numbers. Total number of UFC fights, 5211. Total number of UFC events, 484. The Ultimate Fighting Championship put on a show in Las Vegas with UFC 239 with a Wild Championship doubleheader. The event featured the fastest knockout in UFC history, a bantamweight destroyer with a slew of records and a champion in uncharted territory. Take a look back. On Friday before the UFC 239 card, the UFC inducted Rich Franklin, Michael Bisping and Rashad Evans into the Hall of Fame. Check out our retrospective pieces on the remarkable careers of Bisping and Evans. John Street. Jones, by beating Thiago Santos by split decision to defend his light heavyweight strap. John Jones tied Georges St. Pierre with the most victories in UFC title fights with 13. Johnny 2 times. Jones is the second UFC champion to ever hold the belt on multiple occasions and defended at least twice on both title reigns. Matt Hughes performed this feat first, in his championship run in 2001 to 2003 and again from 2004 to 2006. You have my sympathies. Jones has not lost since December 2009, when he was disqualified while facing Matt Hamill. That unbeaten stretch of 17 consecutive bouts is the longest in UFC history. My first ACT as queen. Amanda Nunes is the first champion in promotional history with a division that held more than 3 champions to ever defeat every previous title holder, demolishing Miesha Tate, Ronda Rousey and now Holly Holm. The ultimate resume. Nunes has beaten every other champion inside the Octagon at bantamweight and featherweight, with knockouts over Cristiane Justino and Germaine de Randamie, and also holds 2 wins over Valentina Shevchenko, the current flyweight queen. Additionally, she smashed the only Bellator MMA featherweight champ, Julia Budd, in 14 seconds at a 2011 Strikeforce event. They said it couldn't be done. Nunes is the first fighter in UFC history to win a belt in a second weight class and drop down to the lower division to defend that first belt. 2 bombers from Brazil, with 11 wins. Nunes ties strawweight champ Jessica Andrade for the most wins in women's divisional history. What can't she do? Nunes also holds the following additional records in women's divisions: longest win streak, 9, most finishes, 9, most first-round stoppages, 8, most knockouts, 7, and most wins at bantamweight, 10. Nunes is nasty. 16 of Nunes' 18 wins have come by stoppage after finishing home, including 13 in the opening round. Both of her decision wins came over Shevchenko. CUTTETH side check, with Nunes picking up performance of the night honors by stopping home. All 5 fights involving female fighters ending by head kick have been awarded post-fight bonuses. A head kick for Holly, as she was finished by a head kick. Holm became the first female fighter, and 7th fighter overall, in UFC history, to ever win and lose a fight by head kick. Was it even 5? Jorge Masvidal annihilated Ben Askren with a flying knee in 5 seconds, scoring the fastest knockout in UFC history. No, really, welcome to the UFC. Askren had never been defeated coming into this event, winning 19 of his 20 bouts, and the lone blemish a no contest after an eye poke against Luis Santos in 2015. Still think it was a good idea. Former UFC and Strikeforce middleweight champ Luke Rockhold had competed at 185 pounds for his entire career before moving up to light heavyweight to face Jan Blachowicz. The change did not bode well, as Rockhold was knocked out in the second round. Rockhold got rocked. Across 21 career fights, Rockhold has still only gone the distance twice. His first decision came over Ronaldo Souza to earn the Strikeforce title in 2011, and his second when he defended that belt against Tim Kennedy in 2012. All 5 of his losses have come by knockout. Decision Diego. For the 20th time in his UFC career, Diego Sanchez went the distance when he lost a decision to Michael Chiesa. Sanchez has reached the scorecards more times than any other fighter in company history. Only 5 other fighters have put their fates in the hands of the judges over 15 times in their respective careers: Rafael dos Anjos and Frankie Edgar, 16 each; Gleison Tibau, 17, and Damian Maia and Jeremy Stevens, 18 each. Cheetahs sometimes prosper, submitting the debuting No-Hill Hernandez with a rear naked choke. Marlon Vera picked up his 6th finish as a bantamweight. This ties Cheeto with Pedro Munoz and Uriah Faber for the 2nd most stoppage wins in divisional history, and only TJ Dillashaw holds more. 8. Pride of Edmonds, staying undefeated at 10-0 by tapping out Jack Marshman with a rear naked choke in just 72 seconds. 9 of Edmund Shabazian's 10 wins have come by first-round stoppage. The submission was the first in his career, finishing the others with strikes. Never say never again. Coming into UFC 239, Holm had never been knocked out. 16 fights, Rockhold 20 fights, and Alejandro Perez 29 fights, had never lost consecutive bouts, and Ismail Nardiev had never competed outside of Europe. 20 fights, No Love for Eminem. Ronda Marcos walked out to No Love by Eminem featuring Lil Wayne, and lost a decision to Claudia Gadelha. 4 of the last 5 fighters to walk out to Eminem tracks have lost. In the 90s, a first for recorded UFC walkout music, Panny Kianzad made her walk to the Octagon accompanied by 90s dance hit Be My Lover by La Bouche. Her first UFC outing last year also featured a song we had never heard before, Mr. Made by Culture Beat. Kianzad lost both of those bouts. Contributing editor Jay Petrie is an attorney and a statistician, writing about MMA since he started studying the Eminem curse in 2012, and penning for Vice Sports and Combat Docket along the way. He put together many fight result and entrance music databases to better study the sport. You can find him on Twitter at @JPetrie. Let's block ads. Why?